Russian opposition leader and Putin critic Alexei Navalny sentenced to 9 more years in maximum security in a penal colony. That's according to Russian state media. The State Department calling for his immediate release and calling today's decision a sham ruling. He was convicted of fraud for allegedly stealing from his own organization. Navalny appearing in court today, looking frail after being arrested 13 months ago on a different charge. So joining me now to discuss is Russian opposition member Garry Kasparov. He is also the chairman of the Human Rights Foundation and Renew Democracy Initiative. Thank you, Garry. We appreciate you joining us. Putin's spokesman tells CNN, and I quote here, "No one is afraid of him. If a person is a criminal, he should be in prison." But would he be getting 9 more years in prison if Putin wasn't afraid of him?
Of course, he's afraid of him. And he's so afraid that he never mentioned even his name. Putin probably believes that mentioning the name of Alexei Navalny could actually bring some evil to Putin's life. I wouldn't be so concerned about 9 years or 10 years or 5 years. Everyone understand Navalny will stay in jail as long as Putin stays in power. So it's amazing that more time Navalny spends in jail, so more crimes he committed. So it's an agony, it's a desperation. So they try to scare exposing Putin, though people who marched with me peaceful on the streets of Russia, they're either dead like Boris Nemtsov or in jail like Alexei Navalny. But I think this verdict is a demonstration that Putin is enraged with his failures in Ukraine, and they just try to take revenge on someone who is still within his power.
Garry, I got to tell you that Navalny is defying on Twitter after the sentencing, writing 9 years. Well, as the characters of my favorite TV series, The Wire, used to say, you only do 2 days. That's the day you go in and the day you come out. I mean, Navalny has been vocal, even as the Kremlin tries to stifle him. Do you think his voice, combined with what's going on in Ukraine, will cause public pressure against Putin to grow inside of Russia?
Look, I don't think that as of now we can expect a massive protest, the revolt that could threaten Putin's power. It can happen only after military defeat in Ukraine. That's why it's so important to supply Ukraine with all the weapons they need to win the war, not just to survive another day, but to win the war. They need long-range missiles to hit Russian ships that are shelling Ukrainian cities. So Ukrainian victory and Putin's defeat in Ukraine may lead to a revolt in Russia because dictator cannot afford looking weak. And then Navalny will have a great chance of leaving prison because during this chaos, I think many things that Putin's done, they will be reversed. So that's what always happens during revolution. But again, the number one condition is military defeat in Ukraine that will send a message to all Putin's cronies and henchmen in Russia that his regime is weak and it's going downhill.
Navalny has been held in this penal colony prison since February of last year, and before that he was poisoned with that nerve agent. Yet earlier in the war, he was trying to organize demonstrations using his social media. I mean, Putin so far has been unable to silence him. Why is that?
Look, it seems that the eliminating Navalny, and of course we understand if Putin wants it, Navalny will be silenced forever. It's equal creating a martyr, and I think that people around Putin recognize that Navalny in jail is bad, but Navalny murdered in jail is even worse. And I also think that some people around Putin, they're really thinking about the future. Dictators' position doesn't look as solid as it used to be, and I think they want to keep some options open. And Navalny in jail is, again, might be an option in the future. God knows. So naturally, the fact is that Navalny is still alive and can send messages through his lawyers to us. It demonstrates that the system is not as intact as it used to be.